Vineland Police Department. If this is an emergency, please press 1. If you know your party's 4-digit extension, please enter it now.
Phone's dying.
Police emergency and non-emergency.
Figures.
Please, operator 9826.
Yeah, I was just harassed by officers at the front desk, and I basically tried to make a complaint earlier, and basically an empty report was made of what that was not my complaint to make it look like I'm calling the police for no reason, no valid reason, which I don't do and never did. And being harassed for basically reporting harassment of the SPCCA or whatever, threatening my cat and basically making up all kinds of lies about me. If my phone hangs up, my battery's dying. I don't know what to do at this point or whatever, but I basically being harassed by officers and threatening me at the desk or whatever, and putting the phone down on me, and they're doing a systematic freaking harassment in the Vineland Police. I'm sorry, what? What's that?
Who do you want to speak to?
I need to speak to an officer. I was trying to report harassment earlier today over my cat at the SPCA or whatever, and
You said it was already documented.
no, it was not documented. It was not documented, and they basically made an entry report and did not put the harassment complaint of the complaint in the complaint, and they're manipulating and forging false reports that are empty. That it says nothing. That was not my complaint.
Hold on.
And I was all harassed by other officers at the front desk. They're doing this because I'm a white woman intellectual, because I'm religious. I don't do any wrong to anybody. They're claiming that me basically speaking law against crime is basically a wrong. We don't have a law enforcement department. It's a cult.
All right, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, I just spoke to my supervisor. It was already documented by...
No, it was not documented. My complaint was not documented. That's a lie.
Okay, I just spoke to you earlier. You said he documented it.
No. They made an empty document and did not put my complaint in the report, and they made it empty. That is not a documented complaint it's not my complaint. That's not my complaint. And they changed a couple of my words and sentences and made it empty, like I'm calling for no reason. They did not basically write down the harassment that I was reporting. I was basically being falsely accused, my cat being threatened or whatever, and all these other things or whatever, and I was basically harassed and bullied by a Jessica at the SPCA, who basically was making up lies that I was screaming at her when I was not, because I sat there and said, oh, my cat's already spaded, when they were sitting there trying to spay a cat that was already spaded as a kitten. And they're making up excuses why they're not going to give me my cat, and just making up all these lies. And all this delusional thinking, and then they're going to sit there and write in the report and slander me and say because of my thinking is right and intelligent. I'm an intellectual woman, and because of my thinking, at least I don't think like a degenerate who made a false report against me. That's crazy. That would be Williams. Okay, if I thought like them, I'm not mentally stable to be a mentally stable person to become a law enforcement officer. Because that's not what I call the police for. They're making it sound like I call the police for no reason. I don't do those things. I'm a righteous woman. A religiously righteous woman. A perfect like Jesus Christ. Hello? Yes.
I'm looking at it now. It was documented.
No, it was not. They did not put my complaint in. They made it empty. No, it was not documented. They did not document my statements whatsoever. It was not documented. That is a false report.
Okay, well, per my supervisor, we're not documenting it again. And I also already spoke to you and documented it, okay?
It was not documented. My complaint is not in the report.
I'm telling you, my supervisor told me. We are not documenting it again. My supervisor.
Okay, who's the supervisor?
I spoke to Sergeant Lavari.
Who?
Sergeant Lavari.
Okay, well, the thing is, my complaint was not documented. My complaint's not in the report. My complaint is not in the report. This is harassment.
Okay, I'm looking at it now. I'm telling you.
I did not say no. My complaint for harassment is not in the complaint. They're not my words. They're not my words.
I don't know what to tell you. I didn't put this in here. This is what
I need to speak to the supervisor. They refuse to put a harassment complaint in my report. They're falsifying reports and making slanderous reports, making statements I did not say, and they refuse to put the harassment statement because the Jessica at the SPCA is basically a whore and was used to harass me by police. And falsely accused me while they're threatening my cat. They tried to kill my cat. They actually gave me the implication that they already euthanized my cats. And then somebody else called me or whatever. And they sit there and try to adopt my cats out because we were all evacuated out of my home because my roof fell in. Which our officers harassed me and made false reports on it and harassed me during a critical situation, in a crisis situation or whatever, while we were in a danger zone. And then they sat there, while they were here, they assaulted my cat, threatened me, assaulted me, because I'm trying to sit there and get my husband out of here as our roof was caving in, which I was very cooperative in. They falsified, slandered me, and falsely claimed that I was not cooperating with them, which is a bow-faced lie. It was very helpful. They're using complaints to sit there and falsely accuse me because I'm a person of law of justice.
Teresa.
Yes.
The supervisor is not available right now. I'm going to put your name and number and email, and they're going to call you back, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So they deliberately refused my complaint and basically made it a transition. I looked that up from harassment to suspicious circumstances or something like that, and sat there and refused to put the complaint of harassment that I reported harassment by, and made an empty complaint and said, this was just said or whatever, that they told her that she had to wait a couple of days for the medicine, which is basically what out of alignment, by the way. That was, and I said it very specifically and clearly. In detail, no, this person did not say that to me, okay? I didn't say that, and they refused to put the harassment in what she did. My cat, by the way, because she was on treatment for tapeworm, by the way, an organic treatment I was giving her. She was gaining a little weight or whatever, and I suspected she had tapeworm or what have you. So during that time she's on treatment, they were evacuated, and they found out also that she has a hyperthyroid problem and has to be on medicine, okay? So the thing is, that's not my complaint for harassment. This is what they made it sound like, by the way. Okay, so they made an empty report and refused me to make the harassment complaint. She was falsely accusing me, delusionally making up and said, my cat got a tapeworm from being flea infested. I said, my cat did not have fleas, and my cat had an $80 collar. Well, I got it for $50 or whatever in the last year. Before it was like $80 or whatever. For years, got the same exact collar, Seresto, okay, wears $50 to $80 freaking flea collars or whatever, and did not have fleas. So this is what I was just like, you sat there and you're delusionally making things up about me. So the thing is, she tried to manipulate the situation, and then she sat there and falsely accused me of screaming at her and said, I can't talk to you, you're screaming at me, made up lies. This is a harassment, by the way, Vineland Police has done to me when I'm sitting there, and they're harassing me, like gaslighting me, psychologically tormenting me, and mentally abusing me. And then I'm sitting there describing the situation and crying, and because my voice is getting like a little accelerated like this, because I'm upset, explaining things to them. Oh, you're screaming at me. This is what they do. Then they sat there, made up a lie, and said, I'm being hostile because I sat there and said, my cat's already been spaded. They're saying, you can't get her because we have to spade her or whatever. I'm like, no, my cat was already spaded as a kitten. Both my cats were. I've seen people try to play that game before. They're using these cats to harass me, okay? And the thing is, this is abuse. They tried to sit there, manipulate the situation, and adopt my cats out. They were not removed from my home because of neglect, abuse, or anything like that, whatever. We were all evacuated. My cat had a thyroid problem, okay, and wound up getting a tapeworm when she was being treated for it. So then they're sitting there making up lies and sitting there saying, oh, you can't afford the medicine. I was just like, well, what's the price of the medicine? Oh, you can't afford to take care of your cat. This is what they're doing. They don't even know what my income is, by the way. And they're just making up these lies or whatever and refuse to give me our cats. And I said, what's the price of medicine? They would not tell me. So they're sitting there playing all these games. I was harassed. I just want you to know, when I called the first time, they sat there and it gave the impression that my cats were been like put down or whatever. So I was devastated over that. Then a guy called, then my husband calls or whatever, sitting there asking about the cats, and they sat there and told him he's confused. So then this guy calls me and he's like, well, you could adopt your cats back or whatever, so your bill won't be so much because they've been there for like 5 weeks because we had to be evacuated and our city was working on our roof. I was trying to get somebody to work on our roof. I didn't get help, by the way. It was the exact same thing telling these people calling all over the place or whatever to get help, and it didn't matter until somebody had a title and basically said the same thing and called the same people of the city and said the exact same thing, had exact same story, and they played all sympathy. Oh, I know, that's so sad. I'm sorry, whatever. And then I was harassed and bullied, by the way, by these people in my home. I went through hell. So they had people harass me or whatever, and they're falsifying reports on me, police. And people are allowed, if people are slandering me, they'll accept that as true if they're bullying me and abusing me. But I cannot sit there and make a report against a crime, and if I do, they're going to leave it empty or make it look like, oh, I'm calling for no reason, when I basically only call the police department for legitimate reasons, harassment or whatever, but they're going to make it look like it's something else. While they'll accept any slanderous lie. Vineland Police, by the way, the degenerate psychopaths, the lawless ones, I have respect for law enforcement, by the way, not these police who do not have respect for law enforcement. I'm a moral person. Okay, I respect the laws of justice. I write about the laws of justice. Okay, I'm being persecuted because I'm a white female who is an intellectual genius by God's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, by the way. Because I'm a theologian. And I'm being refused rights, by the way, and I'm told by them, oh, if you're Christian, you'll surrender your rights, because I prove God exists and all these churches in the entire world to be, well, false. Which are in conflict against Christianity recorded about in the word-for-word translation of the Bible, not these forged, false, evil, false Bibles or whatever. But this is why they're persecuting me. They continue to harass me, psychologically torment me, victimize me, victim blame me, criminalize me for being an innocent victim. And now they're sitting there, and I just want you to know, these people, when animal control came and had to, when everybody's being evacuated and stuff, because my husband was paralyzed, they sat there and falsified a report, flipped it backwards or whatever, and the animal control guy named James something sat there, assaulted me and my cat, grabbed my arm and grabbed my cat by the head, not the scruff of the neck. I had my cat by the scruff of the neck, luring her into the in the crate, and he grabbed her like this by the head, give me that cat. So they falsified it and basically reports or whatever, and because I was screaming because they grabbed my cat by his head, this is what they did. And sat there, and he was lying, saying, oh, he had it by the scruff of the neck or whatever, like this. No, that was me. They flipped it backwards. They keep doing this. They keep doing this. I can only be hated by evil, lawless, immoral, foul degenerates. And the only people these people, police are using to harass me and his other officers while they're slandering me, and like the dirty, filthy, whore Jessica, manager in the SPCA, the only reason they can use them to actually harass me and lie about me, make up all these delusions and stuff, is because they're foul degenerates. They cannot use a moral, intelligent woman like myself. They use foul, mentally unstable degenerates. Mind you, these people tried to have my cat spayed and neutered twice, again. Well, I'm sat there and told them that they were already spayed and neutered. They have a record, basically, of care and treatment they were given throughout the years from the animal clinic over in Millville. Nice place, by the way. thousands of dollars are spent on a cat. My spouse did that. I wouldn't have done that. I would have. She was like, unfortunately, sad. It's sad they kept just giving him like drugs to give her or whatever to keep her going. I wouldn't have not done that. I do not like if cats are suffering near the end. They need to be, put to rest or whatever. I wouldn't spend thousands of dollars while she's going to sit there and continue to suffer like for like a next month or two or whatever. So, but that's what he did. So the thing is, it's just like, no, I wouldn't do that, but because I actually am a logical person, and that's cruelty. That is cruelty. So they're taken to an animal hospital and do that or whatever. No, I was basically opposed to that or whatever. So the thing is, it's just that no. The thing is, they use this woman at the SPCA to falsely accuse me, and because I sat there and said, "Oh, shit," I'm trying correcting her. I said, "You're delusional. Your thinking is delusional." So they use people who are mentally unstable, delusional, and then sit there and call their victim when they're sitting there trying to cover up all these things, and sit there and call their victim delusional, mentally ill, or whatever, to harass us for basically correcting their delusions. So I just got harassed by Officer Pooley. I basically got harassed, by the way, now by Williams, who basically falsified a complaint and made an empty complaint and refused to document my complaint of harassment. I'm being persecuted by the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department for not being a criminal. They're mentally unstable criminals. All they do is lie. Lying is of the foul, disgusting mind. And these things, if you lie, you should not be in my presence. You should actually go to prison for lying. So I'm really tired of these people. All I'm doing is encountering. I have a right to call a law enforcement department and basically encounter people of a lawful, sound mind. Somebody who has basic intelligence. Just basic. But these people, they're nasty. They're nasty. They're foul creatures. Their minds are debased.